well with us during those 24 hours. Thank you now for the sake of Jesus. Amen. All right, so Daniel 9a, A meaning the first part of Daniel 9. Call this one Covenant, Curse, and Sanctuary. That's interesting. Curse, huh? By way of review, we're in the third and final block of Daniel now. We've returned to where he's written it in Hebrew. And in Daniel 8 specifically, I realized last night seemed like it was rather speedy. So just a few of the high points. One of the main things is we learn that Satan desires, he wants to be the high priest, which also would mean he would want to be the judge. He wants Jesus to give way and that he can be the supreme ruler. In an effort to do this, he has removed the sanctuary from the bulk of Christianity. It is something that is just widely unknown. He has also instituted a counterfeit earthly sanctuary. But the great news is that Jesus is restoring the true heavenly sanctuary to its righteous condition, and he's doing so right now. Now, as long as you have that much, if anything didn't quite click last night, you will be prepared for what we look at now. As Daniel 9 opens, actually as Daniel 8, closes, Daniel is very perplexed. Because in Daniel 8, all these little details, the ram and the goat and so forth, have all been explained to his satisfaction by Gabriel. But the one thing that he left unexplained was the mention of these 2,300 evening mornings. And he's greatly puzzled by that. And in fact, at the end of Daniel 8, it says this. It's a funny word. He says he was desolated by it. And it's actually, it's not just a strong word. There's a reason he chose that particular word. And we'll see that a bit later. But for now, just know that he was desolated by this mareh, that's the Hebrew word, the 2,300 days. And so in Daniel 9:2, we find that he is studying earnestly in the book of Jeremiah. Now, why is he looking at Jeremiah? Well, it turns out in Jeremiah, it states the reason that all the Jews have been taken into the 70 years of captivity in Babylon. And because that's made clear to him, he's thinking, but now how did 2,300 years fit in? I thought we were nearing the end of this, and now we've got centuries more to go. It doesn't seem to reconcile in his mind. What did he find in Jeremiah? In 29 verse 10 we read, after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I, the Lord, will visit you and perform my good word towards you and causing you to return to this place. That would seem to be good news. 7 years almost accomplished. We can go back. This is what we want. But now there's something about 2,300. You've got what we have to learn for another 2,300 years. The question, though, is why was Jerusalem brought into captivity in the first place? Well, it tells us in 2 Chronicles 36. Them that had escaped from the sword, referring to Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar himself carried away to Babylon. Were servants to him and his sons. Remember, his grandson Belshazzar was the last king, until the reign of the kingdom of Persia. And in the next verse, to fulfill the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah, namely what we just read in 29 verse 10, until the land had enjoyed her Sabbaths. For as long as she lay desolate, isn't that ironic? As long as the land lay desolate, she kept Sabbath to fulfill 7 years. See, Jeremiah is reading this and understanding, I see, we went into captivity because we had not done what God said in regard to a Sabbath for the land every 7 years. The land was to be desolate. Now, he himself is desolate in that this doesn't seem to harmonize with 23. And we also saw what happens if we refuse his corrections. And he said in his prayer, Daniel 9:11, therefore you have poured upon us the curse, even the sevenfold oath written in the book, the servant of God, for we have sinned against him. Does that sound familiar? We talked a little bit about the problem with idolatry. There was a problem with idolatry coming out of Egypt, and then when they went to Babylon, they still had a problem with it. Okay, so for the sake of God's name, spare them. And he finally says, cause your face to shine upon your sanctuary that is desolate for the sake of Adonai, yourself. And why does he mention that thing about the sanctuary? Here's what's so critical. God said in Exodus 25:8, let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. He's saying your presence is being withdrawn because we have rejected you. He said, please shine upon us. Dwell among us again. It's distant. And Father, it is not some